Hello everybody, my name is Sherry Harris. I'm one of the pastors at Vestavia Hills United Methodist Church, and I'm continuing our pastor study of the book of Acts. Today we're going to be looking at chapter 11, and the actions contained in this chapter literally changed the future of Christianity. This hinge moment, it did not depend on some kind of philosophical debate or a theological argument. It turned on a very simple story. Now, the story is very familiar. It's Peter's vision of a sheet full of unclean and clean animals falling from the sky and a voice telling him to kill and to eat. Now, Peter, in his vision, responds by saying, "No, Lord, I have never eaten unclean animals." But God comes back with this: what God has made clean, you cannot make profane. It is never wise to argue with God, especially when this statement is repeated twice more in the vision. So that is our basic story. But why is it so critical when we've already heard about it in Acts chapter 10? Why are we hearing it again? Well, it is because this story really did change everything. Our text begins with Peter reporting to the church leaders in Jerusalem. Now, it sounds as if Peter is being called on the carpet, and he is. He has broken the rules by eating with the uncircumcised. That has a familiar ring to it, doesn't it? Jesus got into all kinds of trouble by eating with the wrong people. Have you ever been in a church meeting where you could feel the tension? It was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Multiply that by about 100, and that is what is happening when Peter meets with the Jerusalem council. The basic issue is very simple, yet completely life-altering. One group seeks to draw this very narrow circle on inclusion around the gospel, and the others want to expand the circle until all of God's children have a place at the table. Will the Gentiles be allowed to be Christians without following Jewish law? Will salvation be available to everyone? And Peter stands as the witness to change history with his story. Peter tells the church leader his vision of the clean and unclean animals and God's voice. But his story doesn't stop there. This vision is followed by the arrival of 3 men at his door from Caesarea. The Spirit tells Peter to go with them and to not distinguish between them and us. Peter and the 3 men arrive at Cornelius' house, and Peter preaches the gospel. And then the Spirit, speaking through Peter, lead the Gentiles to salvation. Peter concluded that God had given them the same gift that God had given to the Jewish leaders. And he ends his story to the council with these amazing words: "Who was I to hinder God?" And to everyone's surprise, the Jewish council agreed, which I would argue could have only happened through the Spirit's power. And because of that, the future of the church was changed forever. So here are some questions for you to consider as you read and study this passage. When has someone's story changed your view of a faith issue? Or when has your story done that for someone else? Has there ever been a time in your faith journey where you felt the guidance of the Holy Spirit? And did you listen? And what did you do? Now, the Jerusalem council could have said, "Peter, you are out of your mind. Our answer is no." But they didn't. Do you believe that the Holy Spirit gave them the ability to not only listen, but to change their minds? And can that still happen today? For our prayer emphasis, we speak so much of God and of Jesus, and that's wonderful and necessary, but sometimes we can overlook the Holy Spirit. So for your prayer emphasis today, I would encourage you to pray for the Holy Spirit to speak to you, and for you to listen, and then for you to act and to witness. I hope you have a blessed day, and thank you for sharing this lesson with me.